The Amish, a community of people living in the heart of America but with a strange lifestyle, completely separate from the civilized world. They refuse cars, do not use television, do not use electricity. A strange thing is that men here use barns as toilets. Women give up going to the hospital to give birth and give birth at home. Are you curious why? Now I will reveal to you 12 shocking facts about the Amish. Follow me. In many Amish communities, barns serve more than their traditional role as places to keep livestock. These iconic structures also serve a surprisingly different purpose, especially for Amish men. In northern Indiana, home to one of the largest Amish communities, barns serve a unique purpose during social gatherings like church services, weddings, and even simple visits to a neighbor's house. While you might think of barns as places to keep and store animals, they also serve as a sort of toilet for Amish men. When visiting other people's homes or attending community events, Amish men often like to use barns as makeshift toilets. But don't worry, it's not what you think. This practice is usually just a quick trip to relieve oneself and is done discreetly in a designated corner of the shed. You will often see piles of sawdust in these corners, strategically placed to absorb any mess and keep things tidy. It is a practical solution that demonstrates the resourcefulness and respect for cleanliness of the Amish community, even in such a private matter. So if you happen to be a guest in an Amish home, especially in northern Indiana, here is a tip for you. Although the bathroom inside the house is always available, don't be surprised if the men step outside and go to the shed instead. This is a long-standing tradition, deeply ingrained in their way of life. Understanding these small traditions helps us better appreciate the Amish way of life, a simple, down-to-earth way of life with a strong sense of community. Have you ever experienced a unique toilet like this? How did you feel? Leave your experience in the comments section below. Amish women are also very different. Let's explore the daily life of Amish women when it comes to cleanliness, personal care, and even pregnancy. Hygiene practices vary considerably between different Amish communities. LaGrange County and Elkhart County, which are fairly modern compared to some Amish denominations, are extremely concerned with cleanliness. Most people bathe daily. In more traditional and strict groups like the Swartzentruber Amish, bathing may only occur once a week, usually on Saturday evening, to be cleaned for church on Sunday. These communities often do not have running water, so they must fill bathtubs for their weekly baths. When it comes to personal care, they shave their legs, armpits, and other areas. They use razors and store-bought hair removal products. Deodorant is a staple, as are lotions and perfumes, and while makeup may be minimal, they use it sparingly, just enough to smooth their skin. Grooming is also common, giving them a more polished look. Their product selection tends towards simple brands, which aligns with their modesty and understated values. Now we come to a topic that can be a little awkward, but is crucial to understanding Amish life. How do Amish women handle their monthly cycles and pregnancies? Traditionally, most Amish women would go to the hospital to give birth. But in recent years, there has been a shift toward home births with the help of midwives, especially in LaGrange County, where a birth center has been established. The center provides a safe, cost-effective place for women to give birth and is open to anyone in the community. While the Amish are known for having large families, that trend is changing. While it used to be common to have 12 children, today families have as few as 5 or 6. Birth control in the Amish community is a subject shrouded in privacy and personal choice. Some Amish families use contraception, believing that God will provide them with the right number of children, but others believe in taking control of their family planning. When it comes to abortion, the Amish are strongly opposed. However, there have been disturbing stories of extreme cases, such as incest and attempted abortions using herbal remedies. These situations highlight the darker, less discussed side of life in some of the more strict Amish communities. In terms of living conditions, in more modern Amish communities, homes come with all the amenities you'd expect: running water, toilets, toilet paper. More strict communities may still use outdoor toilets and may even resort to older methods like using a catalog to buy toilet paper. Now head to the peaceful countryside of northern Indiana, where the Amish community has thrived for generations. But don't let the quiet mornings fool you. This place comes alive before the sun even rises. Starting at 3:30 a.m., the streets here buzz with activity. Cars line up to pick up Amish workers and take them to work, creating a unique blend of old-world tradition and modern industry. This Amish community, with its agricultural roots dating back to the mid to late 1800s, has been a major industry for many years. While farming was once the primary occupation, things began to change in the 1970s and 1980s. The Amish gradually began working in mobile home factories, and today many work at the RV factories that dominate Elkhart and LaGrange counties. Elkhart County, known as the RV capital of the world, produces more than 80% of the U.S. off-road recreational vehicles. These factories, such as Forest River, Grand Designs, and Winnebago, are major employers in the Amish community. Even Amish farmers, who own 80 to 120 acres of land, often work at these factories to supplement their income. The Amish workforce is renowned for its exceptional craftsmanship and dedication. Despite having only an 8th grade education, many Amish workers earn impressive wages. On average, they earn between $60 and $110 an hour, which equates to an annual income of $80,000 to $110,000. Considering that they typically work less than 35 hours a week, it's clear that their hard work and efficiency are well rewarded. For non-Amish, there is an opportunity to earn extra money by driving Amish workers to and from factories. They are willing to pay around $5 for a one-way trip, meaning you can make $50 a week just by driving a few people. Some drivers even upgrade to minivans to maximize their earnings. A typical workday for these Amish workers starts around 3:30 a.m. They are picked up by a co-worker or a non-Amish driver between 4 o'clock and 4:30 a.m. and are ready to go by 5 o'clock a.m. The work is intense, fast-paced, and repetitive. You might install a stereo system in a toy hauler, a task that takes about 20 to 25 minutes, and that you will repeat multiple times throughout the day. Efficiency is key here. Workers are constantly looking to shave seconds off their routines to keep up with the relentless pace of the production line. Some might argue that the RVs produced here are built too quickly, leading to potential quality issues. However, it's worth noting that Amish workers bring a level of reliability and consistency that is hard to match. They show up to work every day, often working while sick, and they rarely take a day off unless it's for a major life event. The RV industry saw a huge boom in 2020, driven by a surge in demand as people looked for safe ways to travel during the pandemic, but by 2022, demand has begun to taper off. Many manufacturers in the area have reduced their work weeks to 3 or 4 days. High incomes during the boom have led to skyrocketing land prices, with 5 to 10 acre lots selling for as much as $700,000 to $800,000. There is also a deeper concern about the impact this newfound wealth is having on the Amish way of life. The traditional sense of family and community is being eroded by high incomes and increased leisure time. If you happen to be in the area, there are a few must-see spots. One is Rise and Roll, famous for its donuts, often referred to as Amish Crack. Another is Essenhouse, a family-owned business that started as a small truck stop cafe and has grown into a popular restaurant. Before going to find out about Amish church services, I have a request for everyone watching. If you can help me, it only takes 10 seconds to hit the subscribe button. This really helps our channel grow and means a lot to us. In return, my team and I are committed to continuously improving the program for you. Do we have a deal? If you grew up in an Amish community, the opening tune probably evokes a range of emotions, perhaps some nostalgic memories. The tune is actually the second song sung at an Amish church service, a tradition that has been passed down for generations. The song is sung in High German. This song, and many others like it, have deep roots in the Anabaptist faith, dating back centuries. Amish church services are held every other Sunday, with the location rotating among the members' homes. Services begin at 9 in the morning and usually end around noon. Hosting a service is a big deal, and preparations begin weeks in advance. The men tend the barns, clear cobwebs, set up equipment, and clean the yard. They even build a horse tying line, so the horses have somewhere to tie up during the service. Meanwhile, the women begin cleaning the house. Today, many communities have large workshops that double as church spaces, but in the past, services might be held in the attic of a barn or even a basement if the house was not large enough. On Sunday mornings, everyone adhered to a strict dress code. Men wore dark trousers and white shirts with vests or jackets, while boys were not allowed to wear jackets in the summer. Women wore dark dresses, reserved for Sundays, although they could wear lighter colors on weekdays. As families arrived, the men gathered near the barn, greeting each other with handshakes and what is known as a holy kiss, a gesture mentioned in the Bible, although many of us may not understand exactly what it meant. The pastors sat at the front, with the rest of the men and women lining up according to age. At 9 o'clock, the bishop gave the signal to begin the service. The songs, all in German, are taken from the Ausbund, a hymn book filled with songs written centuries ago by the persecuted Anabaptists. Church services are very serious, no joking, as this is a time for God. While the congregation sings, the preachers step out to decide who will preach. They return after a few songs, and the first preacher begins. The sermon is usually in German. Prayer is an essential part of the service, with everyone kneeling in their seats. After the first round of prayer, there is a short break. The service continues with more sermons and scripture readings. After the second sermon, the bishop opens the floor for testimony, inviting other men to share their thoughts on what they have heard. This is followed by a final hymn, and then the service ends. Today we're going to dive into a question that's been on everyone's mind lately. Are the Amish losing their reputation for top-notch craftsmanship? We'll explore that. The Amish have long been recognized for their dedication to quality. When it comes to furniture, Amish who are truly passionate about their craft tend to produce quality products. On the other hand, not all Amish are master craftsmen. An Amish furniture business that produces shoddy products will likely not last long. Locals know to stay away from such businesses, and tourists who buy once will not become repeat customers if they receive a shoddy product. When it comes to construction, the Amish are often praised for their work ethic. They show up, work hard, and get the job done right. Now, about the RV industry, this is where things get interesting. The industry prioritizes speed and cost efficiency, often at the expense of quality. Amish workers in these factories are like well-oiled machines. They work quickly, efficiently, and with a level of dedication that's hard to find elsewhere. If you want better built RVs, be prepared to pay more, because slowing down isn't really an option given the industry's current pressures. There is some debate about wages too. In Pendleton, Oregon, for example, Keystone factories can pay workers a starting wage of $14 an hour. How to make sure you're buying authentic Amish-made products in Amish communities? People typically don't advertise their products as Amish-made. That's considered pride. Instead, look for businesses with names like CL Woodworking or the owner's initials or last name. For example, Swartz Woodworking or Yoda Construction. These businesses are often genuine, even if they don't flaunt the Amish label. But be careful, there are some smaller, more conservative Amish groups that may engage in shady business practices. Have you ever purchased an Amish-made product? Did the quality meet your expectations, or did it leave you wanting more? Share your experience in the comments below. We're diving into a topic that's as fascinating as it is mysterious: dating in the Amish community. If you think you know what dating is like, hold on tight because this is going to be an eye-opener. We're going to go from adolescence to finding the one, but first, let's clear up some terms you may have heard before, like rumspringa. It's not just a phase, it's a rite of passage, and it varies from community to community. In the Amish community, turning 16 is rumspringa, a time when you're given a little more freedom to explore, freedom to date. But here's the twist: dating in the Amish community isn't just about wild parties or casual hangouts. It's about commitment, values, and a lot of tradition. In fact, while some communities may be more strict, where dating only involves singing carols together, others have their own unique customs that will surprise you. Now, let's take a look at how dating works in the Amish community. Most guys will send a friend to pop the question 2 weeks in advance. On the big day, they pick you up on Saturday night. The date lasts until Sunday night. They spend the night together, sometimes with another couple, eating out, maybe bowling, or even watching a movie. Dating in the Amish community is full of awkward moments and a lot of pressure. When you're in your mid-20s and still dating, the whole community is on you. And then, if you're lucky enough to find someone special, you start settling down, which means you're officially a couple. After a year or two, you get engaged, and that's when things get serious. There's no going back, especially after joining the church. But times are changing, even in the Amish world. Today, kids may just start hanging out at parties, skipping the traditional dating process altogether. What do Amish people do if they can't find a suitable partner within their age range to date and marry? I'll answer that question in a moment. Typically, Amish teens start dating around 16. Boys may wait a few years, while girls often start dating right away. The goal is to meet someone special, join the church, and eventually get married. There is no specific age for you to join the church. It's a personal decision that can happen whenever you're ready. Once you turn 16, you can go one of two ways. First, you have the more traditional teens, often called Clinton teens. They follow Amish customs, wear traditional clothing, drive horse-drawn carriages, and follow the rules. Then, you have the wild teens, or what some call car teens. They drive cars, wear non-Amish clothing, and are more likely to be married. Amish like jeans and partying on the weekends. But what if you don't find that special someone? As some young Amish men reach their mid to late 20s, they may choose to join the church even if they haven't found a spouse. They remain single but continue to live the Amish life. This can be a challenge, as Amish society places a high value on community, and being single can feel isolating. For those in the freewheeling youth group who don't find a spouse, many end up leaving the Amish community. They may meet and marry someone outside the Amish faith, adopting what the Amish call the English way of life. For those who remain in the community, being single can become more difficult as they get older. They often stop socializing with younger people and start spending time with other singles their own age, doing activities like game nights, dining out, or even traveling together. Interestingly, many single Amish people meet potential partners at winter gatherings in Florida, where Amish communities from many states come together. But not everyone gets married. While it is rare for Amish men to remain single for life, there are women who never marry. Sometimes called old maids, they live their entire lives as singles. Some people who remain single for many years eventually leave the community. This is often because the Amish lifestyle can be difficult, especially when you are alone. Many find partners soon after leaving, but the decision is not without controversy. The Amish believe that leaving the community is against God's plan, which they see as ingrained in their Amish faith throughout their lives. There are also cases of widows or widowers remarrying. For example, if a woman loses her husband, she may marry a single man who will become the new breadwinner of the family. Divorce is virtually unheard of in the Amish community, and those who divorce are often shunned, unable to remarry. Amish food is known for being rich, hearty, and incredibly satisfying. But what exactly makes Amish food so special? Is it the farm-to-table fresh ingredients, the age-old cooking techniques, or just a little love for each dish? Think flavorful dishes, often with wholesome ingredients like farm-fresh milk, firm meats, and just the right amount of sweetness. The Amish community is a tight-knit community, and when they cook, they do so with purpose to impress, nourish, and bring people together. One of the all-time favorite foods in Amish culture is the famous Amish church peanut butter. A sweet, creamy treat served every Sunday after church, a tradition that brings warmth and comfort to anyone who tastes it. If you're curious to try it yourself, the recipe is just a quick search online away. Another beloved sweet treat that has become a family tradition in many Amish homes is caramelized pineapple rings. Fresh pineapple slices are dipped in a rich caramel sauce, made by simmering sweetened condensed milk until it reaches the perfect golden brown color. This is a simple yet unforgettable dessert that is sure to please any palate. Now, if you're looking to bring some of these wonderful Amish flavors into your kitchen, I have a few cookbook suggestions for you. The Connection Home Cooking Cookbook is filled with recipes straight from Amish families, offering a true taste of their culinary heritage. Another great option is Treasured Heirlooms, a cookbook filled with traditional dishes passed down through the generations. And don't forget the Haystack, a dish that's as fun to make as it is to eat. Layers of crispy tortillas, savory ground beef, and your favorite toppings, all topped with melted cheese. This is a popular dish at Amish charity dinners and is sure to be a hit at your next family gathering. Did you know that in Amish communities, playing musical instruments, especially in front of others, is generally discouraged? The reason behind this is fascinating. It's believed that performing music publicly could foster a sense of pride or arrogance, which goes against the humble values deeply rooted in Amish culture. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite these rules, there's no denying the immense musical talent that thrives within these communities. From soulful singing to strumming the guitar or even tapping away on a keyboard or harmonica, many Amish individuals express themselves through music. And while the act of playing might be kept under wraps to avoid public attention, it's something that everyone secretly enjoys, even when it's not openly acknowledged. Interestingly, the Amish community's relationship with music is complex. On one hand, they avoid outward displays that could lead to vanity, but on the other hand, music plays a crucial role in their daily lives, particularly in religious and social gatherings. The beauty of this contradiction highlights the unique blend of tradition and personal expression within Amish society. While the Amish might shy away from public performances behind closed doors, music still weaves its way into their hearts and homes, proving that even in a community bound by strict rules, the universal language of music finds its place. For Amish children, the day begins when their parents decide it's time, no earlier, no later. The children's morning rhythms are set by the family's lifestyle. If the family doesn't live on a farm, boys may start the day by feeding the horses, cattle, and livestock, making sure they have clean water. Girls, meanwhile, help around the house. But if the family lives on a dairy farm, the morning starts much earlier. Long before the sun rises, both boys and girls are hard at work milking the cows, a chore that must be done every day. Boys often stay out longer, tending to calves, feeding the horses, and handling any other chores that need attention. Girls often return home to help prepare breakfast. All of this happens before school starts, unless it's summer vacation. Breakfast is a simple affair, sometimes eggs and meat, but usually something as simple as oatmeal or cereal. In this northern Indiana community, nearly half the children attend public school, just like kids across the country. They are picked up by the school bus, eat lunch at school, and then take the bus home. But for children attending Amish schools, the routine has its own charm. They pack their lunches and ride their bikes or buggies to a small schoolhouse, reminiscent of a scene from a Laura Ingalls Wilder novel. Interestingly, some Amish children are even picked up by the public school bus and taken to their Amish school if it is on the route. While this is rare, it does happen, and it is a reminder that Amish families, like all residents, contribute to the public school system through taxes, whether they use it or not. After school, there is still work to be done. Boys often take on evening chores, feeding horses and caring for pets. Girls focus on household chores, cleaning, doing laundry, and making dinner. On the farm, the routine remains the same, milking cows and helping with whatever needs to be done. For those who don't live on the farm, there are fewer chores, leaving more time for play. But make no mistake, Amish kids have time to play. They complete their homework and then enjoy time together without the distractions of television or cell phones. They communicate with each other in ways that are increasingly rare. Sure, farm kids work hard, but that hard work instills in them a deep sense of responsibility that lasts a lifetime. Now, some might say they work those kids too hard, but the truth is, hard work pays off. When Amish kids are ready to start families of their own, they are much better prepared than others, because they've been responsible from a young age. They know how to do things because they've had to help, and nothing has been handed to them for free. After a long day, most families gather for dinner, a tradition that is sadly fading in many modern households. But in Amish communities, it remains the cornerstone of family life, strengthening relationships and ensuring everyone stays connected. The Amish and their decision to live off the grid. Have you ever wondered why they made this decision? The main reason why the Amish stay away from electricity is their desire to be isolated from the modern world. They value simplicity and independence, and by living off the grid, they ensure that their lives are not influenced or controlled by outside forces, including the government. With advances in solar power and battery storage, more and more people are choosing to reduce their dependence on the grid. As of 2024, solar technology has significantly advanced, offering better efficiency and longer-lasting batteries, making off-grid living more accessible than ever. Another major reason the Amish shun electricity is to resist the lure of modern conveniences. A fully wired home makes it easy to add gadgets like TVs, radios, and other electronic devices, which the Amish believe can distract them from their faith and community values. In fact, many in the Amish community consider televisions to be one of the most effective tools of deception in today's world. Without electricity, how would they manage essential tasks like pumping water? Typically, water pumps are powered by gasoline engines or, in some cases, pneumatic systems. When it comes to laundry, the Amish often use traditional methods, such as washing tubs with hand-operated wringers powered by generators. These generators may seem like a step toward modern technology, but they are carefully controlled to avoid complete dependence on the grid. For cooking, gas stoves are standard in Amish homes, which may surprise those who are concerned about smoke. Unlike modern homes that have vented hoods, Amish kitchens often don't have these, but they work just fine. One of the most notable aspects of Amish life is the quiet. Without the constant hum of electronics, their homes are eerily silent, a stark contrast to our noisy modern world. Although they shun electricity in their homes, Amish men often use power tools to do their work, powered by generators or increasingly solar panels. These tools are becoming more advanced, with many now using cordless versions that are charged by solar power, a fascinating blend of tradition and technology. Will the Amish ever adopt electricity? That's unlikely given their values, but it's interesting to note that they're adopting some modern technology in ways that are consistent with their principles. For example, natural gas is becoming more common in Amish homes. However, their off-grid lifestyle means they're well prepared for any potential disruptions. If the grid goes down, the Amish can continue their lives largely unaffected. While they eschew many modern conveniences, the Amish aren't completely cut off. They may watch TV while staying at a hotel or occasionally use a car, but they choose not to incorporate these things into their daily lives. It's a deliberate choice to maintain a lifestyle that reflects their values. We're going to dive into a fascinating aspect of the Amish community that many people may not know about: the Amish driver. That's the term used to describe non-Amish individuals who provide essential transportation services to the Amish. When an Amish person needs to travel a distance that is beyond the capabilities of their horse and buggy, or simply wants a more convenient way to get around, they'll call a driver someone with a car or truck who can get them where they need to go. And yes, just like we pay for a taxi or a ride-sharing service, the Amish pay these drivers for their services. Once an Amish teenager turns 16 and gets their driver's license, they are allowed to drive and own a car as long as they haven't been baptized into the Amish church. This means there are quite a few Amish teenagers behind the wheel. While Amish adults aren't allowed to drive themselves, they certainly can accompany these young drivers. For those of you who drive, you might find this next part relatable. What starts out as a simple ride can often turn into an hour-long round trip, sometimes longer than expected. This can be frustrating, especially when your time and effort aren't appreciated. And it's not just about money, although that's certainly part of it. Imagine you've been hired to drive someone shopping. They might pay around $80 for your driving services, plus a $200 grocery bill. To them, this seems like a lot of money to spend all at once. But they may not consider the real costs you incur as a driver: things like gas, car maintenance, insurance, and of course the time you spend waiting or driving. From the Amish perspective, hiring a driver saves a lot of time. Instead of tying up a horse and spending hours doing errands that could be done in less than an hour by car, they opt for the faster option. However, as a driver, it's important to stand up for yourself. If a passenger asks for an extra stop or extra assistance, don't hesitate to say, "Okay, but it'll cost you an extra $5 or $10. If they don't agree, they can always find another way to get around. And here's a little tip for anyone who might find themselves driving for an Amish family. While it's true that Amish people don't typically listen to the radio, many won't mind if you put on some country music or something similar while you drive. If the kids are a little rowdy, a little soft music can help calm them down, and who knows, they might even enjoy the music more than you expected. But here's the trick: instead of directly asking if they want some music, try saying, "Do you mind if I put on some music?" You might be surprised at how often they'll say it's fine. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you want to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us on this great journey. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and like to help us, remember to subscribe for more. See you soon.